What is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king, welcoming you back to more Let's Play Pokemon White. In the last episode, we managed to defeat Lenora, the leader of the Nacrene City Gym, and we earned ourselves the second badge, the basic badge. It was a bit of a sloppy fight. Marty wasn't really able to contribute at all, unfortunately, but Arthur got the job done, and we won. Now, Haas came barging in right after the fight was over and told Lenora that somebody is trying to steal some bones. Those somebodies being a Team Plasma. So let's get out into the museum proper and see if we can deal with this situation. What's going on? Now you wait. Enough fooling around. So you've come, Gym Leader. We, Team Plasma, claim this museum's Dragon Skull in the name of Pokemon Liberation. Show you we're serious, we'll steal it right before your eyes. Well then, here's our smokescreen. Plasma! These guys are a bunch of goobers, aren't they? It would be funny if they weren't actually dangerous. Oh gosh. The Dragonite head is gone. I love Lenora's slow walk forward. What's going on? Oh gosh. Oh, we have to go after them. Well, you just stay here then and don't go after them. I will take care of the problem, Haas. Thank you. I mean, your wife's probably the more capable one anyway. Hello, Lenora? Good day, Lenora. Find any good fossils lately? This is a surprise visit. Are you suffering from artist block again? Levi, this is Burgh. He may not look like it, but he's Castelia City's gym leader. Oh, we heard all about you a couple of episodes ago. Just looking for a change of pace. Seems hectic or something around here. What's up? What's up? Someone just walked away with an exhibit. That's what's up. Bianca? Oh, hi, Levi. What's everybody doing here? Levi, is there some kind of problem? And these two are your friends? Bianca and Charon. Oh, I see. They're trainers. Okay, then. Let's split up and search. I'll head this way. Everyone, Charon and Bianca, I want you to stay here at the museum. Burgh and Levi, you two search Pinwheel Forest. Got it? Burgh, you show the way. I'm counting on you, everyone. And Lenora's going the other way. You are Levi, is it? Are you raring to round up our robbers? I mean, I guess so. Oh, Levi, take this with you. Fennel gave me this dowsing machine to give you. And there it is. That is the item that we need to actually search for hidden items with much more ease and regularity. And we are going to be keeping that as a staple of our menu for the foreseeable future. Dowsing machine in the key items case. Now, what did she tell me? You can use the dowsing machine to find places where items are hidden, so you can find stuff you can't even see. For now, all we need to do is protect the museum, right? I love how kind of aimless Charon is. Hey, wait for me! He kind of reminds me of, well, honestly, me. He's definitely got like that ADHD streak going where he like doesn't realize that he's being socially awkward at all. I mean, I guess that's more than just ADHD, but I definitely sense something in Charon is a little bit neurodivergent, if you will. And, he's valid for that. I appreciate him, so. Anyway, let's get the heck on out of this Pokemon Center now that we actually have healed Pokemon and head on into the next area. Now, I'm going to keep Marty out in front with very good reason because the area we're going to be going into is going to be useful. But first, before I do anything else, I am going to go into my key items and I am going to register the dowsing machine, which means that now when I press Y, it immediately comes up. And the first thing we can grab as soon as we get the dowsing machine going is an item back over here, a super potion. That's going to be helpful. I'm not too worried about getting potions and buying anything for the time being. I will a little bit later. Right now we should be fine because we're going to come to a point here soon where it isn't as necessary. Yo, Traveling Trainer, your Pokemon getting stronger? Here, this might come in handy. We get TM94 Rock Smash, which used to be an HM not too many generations ago. Rock Smash is a move that sometimes reduces your foe's defense stat. It is super effective against normal-type Pokemon, which Gym Leader Lenora likes. Again, if you needed that, it's pretty good. Although Rock Smash itself is not a super powerful move, the fact that it always lowers defenses is the biggest draw of it. This leads to Pinwheel Forest. If they manage to scuttle off into the forest, we might have trouble. All right, Burgh. Well, I will follow you that way eventually. If you go straight, it doesn't take long, but you go the wrong way, it's a maze. Is Pinwheel Forest a path or a maze for you? Now, this area that we're in right here is called technically Outer Pinwheel Forest. And in this outer area, there are some new Pokemon that we can actually obtain. And in fact, there's a ton of them. So I'm going to take the time and discuss all of those before I do battle against this Munna. So why don't we go over Timber, Temple, Sock, and Throw. Timber is a pure fighting type that evolves into Girder at level 25 and again into Conkeldurr when traded. Sound familiar? However, unlike the Roggenrola line, the Timber line is hideous in more ways than one. While it gains a whopping 140 attack stat when fully evolved, its fighting type isn't quite as versatile, and as I've said before in this playthrough, the fighting type definitely runs into some problems later on in this game. On top of that, it's still sporting a terrible speed stat, and while its defenses are very solid, the effort required to get this Pokemon fully evolved when you have other options like Ambor and another certain dual fighting type, who we'll talk about later, it's just not near as attractive an option in my opinion. That's not to say it isn't good, because it is, but unlike rock types, fighting types' weaknesses don't need to be predicated on a lack of speed, which is this line's glaring weakness, and one I'd rather not deal with if I'm going to slot one into my team. Tympole is a pure water-type Pokemon that gains a ground typing when evolving into Palpitoad at level 25 and again into Seismitoad at level 36. This is Mudkip's little brother in about every single way, including its effectiveness. The water-ground typing alone is an extremely nice combination for sure, but its base stats show it doesn't do anything particularly well. It's just kind of above average across the board, both offensively and defensively, although its moveset is more geared towards special attacks rather than physical attacks, but with some creativity, it can easily swing either way. Personally, I think the type alone is the reason to add this thing into your team. It can be kind of a pain to train, but its coverage is nice. There are a lot of better water types, however, and a fair few better ground types than this one, so don't expect it to excel in any way. It's just good. Sock and Throw are both pure fighting types that can be caught here in Pinwheel Forest, although where you find them depends on which game you picked. Sock is found sometimes in normal grass and black, while Throw can only be found extremely rarely in rustling grass. The opposite is obviously true for white version, which means Throw will be the easier one for us to find. That said, Sock is easily the better of the two, and here's why. Sock's highest stat is attack at 125, and Throw's highest stat is HP at 120. Sock has decent HP, defense, and special defense, and above average speed. Throw has better defense, special defense, a solid attack stat, and a terrible speed stat, which is the crucial thing here. Essentially, Sock can outspeed some Pokemon to hit really hard and take some hits. Throw can hit things okay, take a lot of punishment, but is almost always going to go last, and that is the key issue, especially for a monotype Pokemon. Let's harken back to what I said about Conkeldurr for a moment. Sock doesn't really have a glaring crucial weakness like Throw does, but that being said, Throw still isn't bad per se. If you're okay with a monotype fighting Pokemon, both of these get the job done quite well. Don't be fooled by their sub 500 base stats, as their irrelevant special attack stat is kind of what drags down the total anyway. For Sock, the stats that matter are all good, and for Throw, most of them are good, so feel free to pick up one if you need a good fighting type. But once again, I must stress, these two and any other fighting type are not going to have the best of time in the latter part of the game. Alright, party time's over. Let's get to work here. So we're going to be taking on this Munna really quickly, and I'm going to just be trying to push Marty into the threshold of level 18 if possible. Not a yawn. That's basically a force switch if it hits you. Actually, this is a perfect time to switch on over to Arthur, because if Munna tries to use yawn on him, he does have a Chesto Berry, keeping him awake. Not to say he won't probably knock out this Munna before it's able to do anything. And then it uses Imprison, which is a move that, I mean, I can't really see being useful in like 99% of situations. Imprison is an ability that basically just prevents Pokemon from using moves that the Pokemon using Imprison already has. So basically only a possibility of like 3 moves, which isn't all that great. But oh my goodness, finally Marty can learn the big one. Let's teach it to him. Flame Charge. This is the move that I am basically counting on Marty for the next little while. It is a fire type move, which obviously covers a lot of weaknesses on my current team, and is going to be coming a lot of handy in future situations. Now, that's the reason right there. This lady is why I didn't really worry about healing or grabbing any healing items as we went, because we can always go back to her and treat her as a Pokemon Center as we go in and out of Pinwheel Forest. That said, as we get into the inner area more, it is going to get a little bit more sketchy, because there's not going to be as many easy ways to backtrack. But let's take the repels we have, and we can start making our way through here, but I do want to keep the dowsing machine on standby as I enter this area. We got a lot of trainers to go through, and we're probably not even going to make it into the inner portion of Pinwheel Forest in this episode. It's going to probably take a little bit before we're able to track down that dragon skull. But now that we actually have a fire move on hand, let's start doing some damage against some grass types. So what makes Flame Charge so good is that every single time you hit, and I think I already mentioned this earlier when I was talking about Tepig, but every single time you land a hit, it increases the speed of the user. Now, Cottony may be faster now, but after this turn, it certainly won't be. So he's going to get a little bit of health back, but Marty should certainly be the faster one going into this next part. So we can just continue to use this. Oh, actually, wow, still faster. That's honestly shocking to me. I know Cottony's fast, but holy crap, I didn't know it was that fast. Well, it's down anyway, and then whatever this little girl throws out next, we should be able to deal with it with more flame charges. No problem. Obviously, Leech Seed is still in play. This time it's a Petalil, which I think is more defensively beefy than Cottony, but I could be wrong about that. But let's see. Oh, yeah, just barely, but it's so negligible, it doesn't really matter. I love how Petalil tried to use Leech Seed of all moves there, which is literally not going to do anything in that situation. And down you go. All right, this is what brings Marty into his own, is this move. And this is the move I'm going to be relying on a lot as we go deeper into Pinwheel Forest, because while this outer area might be mostly featuring fighting types, the inner area is a bit of a different story. We'll be talking about that a little bit later. But let's just get through all these trainers, continuing to do lots of work. Oh my goodness, there's so freaking many of them. What do you got? Homer. Homer? Who names their kid Homer? Like, that is not... I don't know. I don't want to be mean to anybody from this generation named Homer, but, like, this is a preschooler. I mean, that kid is going to probably be, like, what? Freaking... He's probably 18 now, if even that. Oh my gosh, these kids are 13 years old. I just made myself feel really, really old. Ow! Gosh dang it. Frickin' Marty and your defenses, man. I mean, I know that was a critical hit, but jeez. Yeah, just don't name your kid Homer. Not from this generation. Everyone's going to think of Homer Simpson. They're certainly not going to be thinking of the Iliad and the Odyssey. Let me go back and heal up really quickly. This is going to probably be a recurring theme with Marty here. Like, I could just use Arthur to brute force through everything, but it's going to take forever. And also, it's just, well, not going to take forever, but it's going to be very obnoxious because only he's going to obviously be getting the experience and yada yada. All right, let's continue. So there's a bunch of secret items over in the dark grass area, so we do need to be careful. Luckily, we've got those level advantages that the repels should prevent us from running into any Pokemon anymore. So you got Keita. Okay, Temple. Well, that's actually a pretty good start. This is something I can do a lot of damage to. You want to only throw Temples at my Blitzel? That would be honestly awesome. Just use Shockwave all day. Like I said, don't worry. The Flame Charge is going to come in handy. It really will. It's going to be super awesome, especially against grass types and the like. And again, as we run into other interesting Pokemon, a more interesting Pokemon, and also heading off towards the third gym, it is all going to come in handy. Well, it looks like this kid is just going to have nothing but Temples, so I believe I called that, and I'm pretty excited about it. Don't know how I remembered that, but I did. I guess I was just making an assumption. But for some reason, subconsciously, I was like, I think this kid does only have Temples. Which is good, because if it had evolved even one stage, then it would have a ground typing. But here we go. So down with that. Marty hits level 19, catching up to Arthur slowly but steadily. Keita has been beaten. All right, let's continue down into this place a little bit deeper. But I knew the repel was going to wear off, which is the exact reason why I kind of stopped what I was doing, to make sure that was going to happen. It was going to be any second now. All right, let's grab this item. We still have a few more trainers left to fight. I'm going to go down here a little bit. Let's see. This is... I just went right over it. No. Just turn around. Thank you. Got another antidote. That's 2 in a row. Okay, not bad. We got this item here, which is another super potion. More healing, which is pretty good. Like I said, in due time, I will actually be going and buying some. I think it's just this puddle here. A tiny mushroom. Now... Tiny mushrooms are items that you can sell at stores, and there's also big mushrooms and balm mushrooms that can all be encountered later. However, I would advise not selling these at the Pokemon marts, because there's actually an NPC that we are going to be finding later on in the game that specifically specializes in mushrooms and will buy them, I believe, for double the price. So just hold on to them. Don't go wasting your time selling them. It's much better to just save them for the time being. You're going to be finding mushrooms in pretty much all foresty locations throughout the game. So it's definitely worth just hanging on a little bit longer, waiting it out. And that is why they gave us the antidotes, is because of that move right the frick there. But luckily, this Venipede isn't too much to deal with. Very good Pokemon, but I mean, I think he can handle it. And then we got Lillipup. Okay, so this thing's actually going to be hitting hard. We already got 1 Flame Charge in, so we definitely have speed advantage. Hopefully, we can just 2-shot this thing with some Shockwaves, and we should be fine. Or 1-shot it with a critical hit. I won't complain about that either. There we go. All right, up the stairs, and let's see who's up this way. I believe there's a couple of trainers. Repel wore off again. All right, let's use one more. Why not? I'm gonna probably end up going and get more repels between episodes before we head on into inner Pinwheel Forest. So let's get this fight started. And we got you and a battle girl. So you're probably going to be throwing lots of fighting types at me. Is it going to be throwing sock, possibly? Timber, actually, which honestly I'm grateful for, because that is much easier to deal with than sock and throw. Those Pokemon, especially throw, are actually really beefy, and they hit really hard. In this early stages of the game, they are extremely strong. If you want to get a solid fighting type for... Like, if you're wanting to get a fighting type out here... Because like I said, if you can come out here, you can get a fighting type and then use it on Lenora's gym. If your intention is to get a fighting type that you're going to keep for your team for like the whole game, then Timber is the choice. But if you're wanting to grab one just for the simple fact of having it for that gym, Soccer Throw every single time. They might not be as good as a fully evolved fighting type, but they are a lot better than something like Timber, and they are beefy and they hit really hard, and they will just absolutely wipe the floor with that gym. So I highly recommend picking up one of those if you absolutely feel like you must come out here. And oh gosh, I really only have super potions, huh? Well, I guess I'm just gonna have to live with what I have. Anyway, yeah, highly recommend getting one of those if you absolutely must come out here and grab a fighting type for that gym because you feel like you can't beat it in any other way. And I will say that while Pokemon Black and White are not hard games, they are still relatively on the easy side. How do I put this? As far as Pokemon games are concerned, they're still a little bit tougher. So you could find yourself in some pretty bad situations here and there with the Pokemon that you're going up against and with your own Pokemon. So do keep that in mind as we go. Okay, I am going to do something really ballsy here. If Marty goes down, he goes down. But I'm going to try actually doing this because I get the feeling Timber's going to just use like Focus Energy or Rock instead of Rock Throw this time. Nope, he used Rock Throw. Well, I was very helpful, but it doesn't matter because this is the last trainer anyway before we make our way over to the nurse again and she can heal up our Pokemon. So let's just take you out, and then we'll be grabbing ourselves this item. My immediate instinct was to go towards Vine Whip. Oh, what a tragedy. Nope, Arthur is now level 21. Not bad. He still is the leveling king. He's still the king in general, honestly. I mean, look at his namesake. But let's go and grab this item. Is it... Where are you at? Is it in one of the rocks? Ether! Okay, that is an item that actually restores power points to a specific move, so that's really nice. Also, make sure you grab this before you jump over. Netball. This is a new type of Pokeball that is much more effective on water types and bug types, and that's it. It is going to actually come in handy for a Pokemon that I'm going to be catching a little bit later, but in the meantime, have no use for that. You will be able to also buy them in bulk a little bit later on as well. All right. Before I head into Pinwheel Forest, I am going to hit up the Pokemon Center, but I'm going to be doing that between episodes because that is it for this one, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this episode very, very much, and I will see you all in the next one where we will head on into the depths of Pinwheel Forest, hot on the trail of Team Plasma. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all then.